everybody.
Hello everybody. Hello Max.
Hello Marion.
Max, would you like a story?
Oh, I'd love a story, please.
It's a story about a man called Peter. And Peter was a friend of Jesus.
Oh, good.
And Peter was boasting. Peter said, I'm such a good friend of Jesus that it doesn't matter what happens, where he goes, all of my life, I will be a good friend of Jesus.
That's nice.
Well, Jesus knew that wasn't true. And he said, well, before the cock crows twice, you're going to say 3 times that you don't even know me.
Whoa, that's not nice, is it?
Oh, Peter was upset. Anyway, that night something terrible happened. Jesus was taken away by some bad men and he was put into prison, and Peter and John followed him to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And they were waiting outside the building where Jesus was. And as they were waiting, they were warming themselves by the fire.
I like warming myself by the fire.
And a girl came up to them and said, oh, I know who you are. Aren't you one of Jesus' friends? So Peter said,
Yes.
no, he didn't.
He didn't?
No, he said, I don't know him.
Whoa. He let Jesus down, didn't he?
Yeah, but that wasn't all. Then a man came up and the man said, oh, I'm sure I've seen you with that fella Jesus. And Peter said,
Yes.
no,
No.
I've no idea what you're talking about. No, I don't know him.
Oh dear, that's twice.
Twice. And then a third time, somebody came up and said, no, I'm really sure you were with Jesus. Listen to your accent. You sound like you come from the same place as Jesus. Well, Peter got cross and he said, no, I don't even know him. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's 3 times he's let Jesus
3
down.
times. And then suddenly the cock crowed.
And he remembered what Jesus said.
He did.
And he was really upset that he'd let Jesus down.
Oh, he was so upset. He cried and cried and cried.
Oh, and I bet Jesus never forgave him for what he did.
No, you're wrong.
Really?
You're wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. Well, we'll come back to Peter in a minute. Let's talk about somebody else who did some forgiving. We're going to talk about the man who invented the electric light bulb.
All right.
Who was that?
Edison!
That's very clever of you. Yes, it was Edison. Well, we won't use that light bulb because that might be a bit dangerous. So instead of the light bulb, we're going to use a balloon.
Oh, that's nice.
Can you imagine the first time that Edison got the light bulb that he had made and put it into the light socket, and then he switched it on, and for the first time there was electric light lighting up the room.
That's amazing.
So he switched it off again and he took it and he gave it to his assistant. That's you.
Is that me? Am I the assistant?
Yes. So
Okay.
be careful, this is the only light bulb.
It's the only light bulb he's got.
Yes, no other light bulb.
Don't drop
Ellie,
it.
do
Whatever
not
I do.
drop the light bulb.
Okay. Oh dear, I won't drop it. I won't drop it.
Don't drop
won't
the
drop
light bulb.
Ah, I've got it.
Whatever you do.
I've got it safe now.
Have you?
Ah!
Oh no.
I've broken the light bulb. Oh dear, Edison will never forgive me now.
The only light bulb in the whole wide world has broken.
Oh dear.
And it's all down to his assistant.
Yeah, me. He'll never forgive me now.
So Edison went back to making another light bulb.
Did he?
Yeah, because he knew how to do it this time. So he made another light bulb and he put it into the socket and he switched it on, and for the second time in history the room was lit up with electric light.
Wonderful.
So he switched it off again and he took it.
And he didn't give it to me. I'd break it.
Well, he did,
What? Why?
because he knew that his assistant had been really upset and was really sorry for breaking the first one. So he knew he could trust him with this second one.
Wow.
So he forgave him and trusted him with the second electric light
I'm
bulb.
nervous now.
And this time the assistant didn't break the electric light
And he
bulb.
very carefully put it away. Yeah, it's safe now.
So would you like to hear about how Jesus forgave Peter?
Oh, yes.
Well, as you know, very sadly, Jesus died on the cross.
Yep.
And then he rose again. And one day, Peter was there when Jesus came after he'd risen from the dead. And they had a picnic with Jesus
Yeah.
on the beach.
On the beach.
Can you imagine what Peter must have felt like? Because he knew that Jesus knew that he had said 3 times that he didn't know him.
He'd feel very silly.
Very embarrassed, very sad. And he'd be sure, like Edison's assistant, that Jesus wouldn't forgive him. So after they'd had their breakfast together, the picnic on the beach, Jesus and Peter went off by themselves.
Right?
And I think Peter was very nervous about what Jesus was going to say.
He would be.
And Jesus said to Peter, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter said, "Yes, Lord, of course I do.
Isn't that nice?
Yes." And then Jesus said a second time, "Peter, do you really love me?" And Peter said, "Yes, Lord, I do."
Wow.
And the third time, Jesus said, "Peter, do you really love me?"
Yes, I do. I love you.
And Peter was really upset and he said, "You know everything, Lord. I do love you." And Jesus said, "Well, feed my sheep." He meant that he wanted Peter to be the leader of his church. And Peter was amazed because
He'd let him down before.
he'd let him down 3 times.
And Jesus forgave him.
And Jesus asked him 3 times if he loved him and showed that he was forgiven. And that now he was going to trust him.
Trust him.
Trust him to be the leader of his church.
Just like Edison trusted the assistant with the light bulb.
Yes. So Jesus forgives us and gives us a second chance.
He trusts us again.
He does. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's great news, isn't it?
Shall we say a prayer?
Oh, yes, let's. I'm going to pray. Dear Jesus, we thank you that you forgive us when we say we're sorry and you give us a second chance and you trust us again. So, Jesus, we say sorry to you for all the wrong things we have done and all the good things that we have not done. We ask you to forgive us and trust us again. In your name, amen.
Amen. That's fantastic.
Shall we say goodbye now?
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.